You're a co-host. You're a co-host now, sir. So I will stop my screen so that you can go ahead and share yours.
It's okay, sir.
Yep.
Just hold on for it. Can you see my screen now? Hello? Yes. Okay. Good evening, everyone. My name is Rex. I'm
Sorry, sir. We can't see your screen, sir.
Okay. Let me. Yes.
And please, for all the group leaders that are here, kindly send information to your group that class has started. Please. All right. So we can see your screen now.
Okay.
Right.
Thank you so much for the opportunity. My name is Rex Ape. So I'll be making the presentation for my group 3. And in group 3, we have Albert Asibu, Anthony Adejumo, myself, Ape Rex Okuche. Then we have Bernard Francis Olusegun, Chukwene Bernard, Mom Larry.
Okay, sorry, before you continue, all these people, did they contribute to this did they contribute to this work, or their names just appeared because they are in the group?
No, sir, we all contributed, sir.
All right, go ahead.
Contributed, yes.
Please go ahead.
Okay, so our presentation is on project quality management, and I will say that it's one of the crucial body of knowledge, and you agree with me as we proceed. So the presentation is broken into 3 parts. The first one is the introduction, where we'll be talking about, I'll introduce you to our presentation. Then we'll look at the contemporary quality management. We'll also look at the quality management in environment of pharmaceutical industry. Then the second part, it has to do with the case study. And then the case study we are looking at is code name Project Solar Star. And then under the case study, we'll be looking at the concept of quality management, the quality planning, the quality assurance, operational quality management, the product control, the quality controls, and then the cleanliness of the production environment. Then the third part, which is the last one, is the conclusion. So the introduction, I'll start with the introduction. This introduction is the presentation will demonstrate the practical application of project quality management during whole cycle of the project. And it's for the introduction of and manufacture of insulin pen. Then the project quality is divided to quality of project management process and then quality of the project product. So it's not that we are looking at just the quality of the project now, but we're also looking at the quality of the project management process. Now, both of these aspects are described on a practical example, and we use the quality management tool in paper. In other words, like where you have process, for instance, process flow and all that. Now, the first part deals with the project management process, and the concept of project management is described. This part outlines the procedure of quality planning and system of quality assurance. Then the cost to assure quality is also mentioned. Then the second part describes the system of the product checking, like how you check the product, the system you use in checking the product, and also deal with the quality of testing, the cleanliness of the environment of production, and then the use of methods, tools are evaluated from practical point of view after application in case study. Now we look, in general, project can be described as unique set of processes carried out within an exact time period and utilizing a certain inputs Now, the uniqueness is the main difference between project and process. Therefore, poor quality of any step in whole project can cause poor quality or failure of the whole project. So in other words, we have a project and then we have a quality expectation. Where we are saying that if the process is poor, the quality of the process is poor, then ultimately it will affect the overall project. Then negatively, the management system based on processes and the related control functions, which are consolidated and combined into functioning unified system with goal to reach the certain limit, is called project management. So you have apart from your processes, you also have other things you consider and all that in order to be able to make sure you have an integrated or a unified system so as to achieve your goals. So now, under the introduction, we see we mention goals to execute any project is to meet certain needs, which will in the future bring desired benefit. So, when you have a project, you always have the objectives and the goals. And in fact, the objective and goal brings the project. And then wherever you have an objective, definitely there will always be risk and all that. Then such goals is referred to as the product of the project. Processes in a fashion to reach best possible outcome, respective possible outcome. So what they are saying here is that we have different processes, and then when you have a project or you have a task to carry out, you look at those processes that you can adapt or adopt in order to be able to achieve your goals. Because there are some processes that may work for the construction industry, for instance, but it may not work for the entertainment industry and all that. So we are looking at, okay, because we have different processes. Like you mentioned this morning, we used to have 42 processes, but now it has increased to 50 plus. And that's to tell that you have more tools, more processes to work with. So and you need to be able to design and to know which of these processes will be adequate or will be the right fit for your project. But in terms of this, we are looking at quality. Now, quality of product is essential, but quality of project processes must be taken into the account because it is directly linked with quality of product. So project management therefore deals with both of these aspects. Just as we mentioned earlier, yes, our goal is to have a product that has the required desired quality. But then the processes and those activities that we need to follow through to get that quality is also important, and that process also must have that quality must be is a factor also. So now we look at the contemporary project management under the introduction. So we are looking at together with the change of perception of the quality of the orientation at the product is also changing to the orientation at process systems based on continual improvement, precise analysis of error, their anticipating and introduction of corrective measures. High quality product is still important, but to follow high quality process is important as well. By following the right process, you should reach the right product. Just as I mentioned earlier, before we enter the contemporary mention, the processes is as important as also the quality of the process is as also important as the quality of the product. So why is it this? Why are we saying this? If you look at the previous statement here, where I have my cursor, is telling you that when you are considering the quality of the product and also the quality of the project, you are also putting in mind, the perception of the product, the changing orientation, the continuous improvement of that product, precise analysis of errors, and their corrective measure where there are errors. So if you look at that continuous improvement, is in fact is one of the quality management requirement, or is a, should I say a must? I am short of words, but let me say like it's a must in this recent quality management standard. which has to do with, okay, you have a process, you make sure that you are implementing those processes, you are maintaining them. And then when you get to that point that you are maintaining them, then you look at how you improve on your process, or you improve on your quality, or you improve on your deliverables. So continuous improvement is a norm in the contemporary quality management. Now, they say all errors needs to be detected, analyzed, corrective actions need to be taken to prevent the errors to appear again. Tools analyzing possible errors are utilized to estimate possible risks. Gradually, we are shifting from quality control point of view or quality management set in a fashion that error did not even occur. This leads to the significant decrease in costs related with quality control and low quality product. So what are they? Just as I told you in continuous improvement, where you have a facility, for example, you are maintaining it, you are implementing your quality management systems, you are maintaining it. Then as you are maintaining it, then you'll now be looking at how you improve on the system. So if you are looking at how to improve on the system that you're already maintaining, you will see that at the end of the day, you'll be able to detect errors even before they come. You'll be able to see it in advance, be able to visualize it before they even come, and then you have already corrective measures. So if you are using this continuous improvement and thinking, in other words, you'll be proactive. So if you are proactive, that is why it will lead to significant decrease in costs related to the project quality. Then the last one under the introduction is the quality management in environment of pharmaceutical industry. So for this our case study, we are adopting, the case study is adopted from the pharmaceutical industry, and that's why we have this here. So for the needs of specific sectors such as pharmaceutical, which differs in their demands on management form of quality control based on industry standard was developed. So we are talking about we are telling you what our case study, is tailored to or is aligned to. You understand? And then it fully respects the structure of the requirement of the ISO 9001. However, it adds many other requirements and defines specific requirements that are typical for the industry. So this the case study, and how we are going to deal with it, it fully respects the ISO 9001. It has to do, just as I told you, for the quality management system, it has to do with continuous improvement and all that, customer satisfaction, customer improvement. Now,
okay,
apart from
we have 3 minutes to round up.
Okay, so let me just okay, you have 3 minutes. Okay. So for the case, let me just go to the case study. Then I'll read the case study, and then we'll now look at the introduction. So the case study, as I told you, is code name Project Solar Star. So the project is a project for the introduction of insulin pen Solar Star into production. Now the project takes place in Czech Republic, and the company in charge is Gereshema Hozeski Time Limited, and this company is part of a group of the Gereshma. Now, the customer of the product in this case is other international pharmaceutical company of Sanofi SE. Now, at the moment, the insulin pen Solar Star in the Czech Republic is produced and supplied to the customer as 2 components, and those 2 components are the mechanism sub-assembly and the cap and cartridge holder. Now, they consist of total of 12 plastic parts created by injecting molten plasma in injection molding and externally supplied metal spring. Then Sanofi, which is the customer, then completes pen with vials of insulin and sells complete device to final customer. Now, at the moment, the production of the 100 million pieces each year is estimated, and approximately 275,000 units per per day. So you look at the concept, and the concept of the quality management, you look at it follows the quality management manual. So you have to have a quality management manual, the description of processes and procedures. That's in some quota is called the standard operations procedures. So this one is it tells you the inputs you need to have, and then the processes, and then you have the, it tells you how the process, the step-by-step way in which you carry out your activities. Then you have the work instructions. Apart from the SOP, you have other instructions that may come up maybe due to changes and all that. Then you have the forms. Those are the things you use, the tools you use, like templates that you use, and then you have the completed documents, which may be the completed templates, work instructions, and all that. Then you have the quality planning, and then you have the quality assurance, and then you go down, you have the operational quality management. So if you look at this case study, they were able to, tell you that, oh, they have a concept that they have for this quality management. They have the quality management plan. We have the quality management plan, my group and I. Then we have also the quality assurance and all that. Even for time, we would have dealt with that. Then we have also the operational quality management. That's what you use to, to check conformance and non-conformance. And then you have also the product control. So, all these things that we're talking about, quality now. But this now has to do with the control, how you control the production and all of controls. Those how would that give you the required what you want and all that. And then lastly is the cleanliness of the production environment, which has to do strictly with the other areas of the company and their special regulations, and the special regulations that are. In conclusion, as can be seen with the examples, so we have this.
All right, just round up.
Okay, so the concept of the quality management based solely on controlling finished product, and it's now almost on. Then he said the quality of the Solar Star project has been managed since its inception, where all the activities have been carefully planned. So if not for the time, I would have showed you, the tool that was used. In which case, from one activity must be a phase must be completed before you go to the next activity. So for this one, they are looking at from the production to then getting to the final consumer. Now, the Solar Star, when it's produced, it is normally produced in two components and two sections and all that. And at the end of the day, the customer who is buying it will have to assemble it before selling it to the final consumer. So it's telling you that from the inception.
All right. Thank you so much, sir. That was awesome. Thank you so much, Mr. Res. Thank you for taking your time, you and your group, to research. Okay, quickly, does anyone have any question for group 3? If anyone has any question for group 3, please, I know the time allotted for this case study may be small, but at least we're able to get the major components of project quality management in his presentation. So if anyone has any question, or if any of the group members has any contribution to make, please, the floor is open. We just have 5 minutes to that. And then we'll be out. We'll take group 4, and then we'll conclude on today's program. Engineer Dave Adedeji is already ready for group 4. So if there is any question or contribution to what Engineer Res and his group has presented, and please, Engineer Res, if it will be okay, I would like you to post that case study you use. I would like you to post it in the chat room so that those of us that would be interested, because I was seeing some safety and quality systems that you were mentioning. So those of us that are into pharmaceutical that could want to try out such processes, they can go and read it up. Okay, I'm having one hand up.
Okay, I'll do that.
All right, Zachary Ahmed Yahaya, please. Zachary Ahmed Yahaya, please kindly unmute and go ahead with your question, sir.
Good evening, everyone.
You're welcome, sir. You're welcome, sir.
I see 0 and the 1900-004. I don't know how quality assurance has with that in meeting with the corporate social responsibility.
Sorry, can you ask your question again?
Can you come again, please?
I said in your presentations, the presentation of ISO 1900 and 9001 for the quality assurance. So I am trying to see, is that a gap to fill up with the, like what they refer to as the quality of the, or the
Sorry, your network is
corporate social for the company that is there, that is for the pharmacy. Hello, sir.
Your network was actually breaking, but I suspect Engineer Rest should have captured a little of what you are trying to ask. So, Engineer Rest, did you get his question?
Yeah. Well, I didn't get it totally, but I got it the beginning, when he started the talking. He's talking about the ISO. The ISO 9001 is a system. And so in the ISO 1001, you still have other systems. And then we are only adopting the quality management system. Like for my company, we are ISO certified, and we are on ISO 1009 2015, and that one has to do with integrating quality management system into our processes. So for the ISO, the ISO 9001 that you saw there, we have, it's not just quality management. We have quality management system as part of that ISO system. You also have others. In fact, the current one, I think we have HSC also integrated. I don't know where if I'm able to
okay,
I'm able to clarify you.
I think you've answered to the point you should be able to understand. Okay,
hello,
so,
engineer Benito.
Yes, I'm with you. Can you hear me? Okay, so for the person that was asking question, he was asking if there was provision for corporate social responsibility in the ISO standards. Okay, so for Mr. Zachary, ISO 9000 series has to do with quality management. 9000, 9001, they all has to do with quality management, and quality management systems. So please, you could also do yourself a favor by going through the respective quality management systems available. Okay. All right. So without wasting any time, can we have Engineer Dedeji? All right. So Engineer Res, please, can you kindly withdraw your screen so that we can have Engineer Dedeji's screen? All right. Thank you so much. All right, Engineer Dedeji, please. You are a co-host now, so you can unmute yourself and you can share your screen.
Sorry, Engineer Badito. My second line, my laptop is where I have it. Can I have the other one also released?
Which one is that?
There are two names there. That you see my two names.
Okay, what's the other? What's the other one?
One is my laptop, the same name. The second one is my phone.
So what's the name of your phone?
It's Techno. That's my name. See, David Adedeji is there. The second one
Yes.
to David Adedeji. Okay, maybe I should switch off my phone then.
Okay,
so
okay, okay. I've seen it.
You've seen
Okay,
it.
so I should make both of them co-hosts.
Yeah, so that I
Okay.
can present from my laptop. Yeah.
All right, so that's done.
Thank you.
You're welcome, sir.
It's not coming up. Or yeah. Okay. Good evening, everybody. Sorry, I just have to. I'm actually driving. That's why.
You're driving and
Tonight,
presenting. All right. Yes, we are seeing your screen now.
Thank you. I'm David Adedeji. On behalf of Group 4 rather, I'll be presenting our assignment, which is project resource management. And quickly, I would like to say what is, because the project resource management, the question we want to ask is, what is project resource management? Now, it is the process of pre-planning, scheduling, and allocating your resources to maximize efficiency. And basically from that single definition, we'll say what project resource management entails. Three things basically. Number one is that it determines the type of resources you require for each work package with respect to people, equipment, and materials. And the second one, it determines the quantity of resources required for each work package. And the third one is that it measures the quantity or the time that utilization of each resource is required in each work package, And to buttress that point, the Group 4, we are going to use an event to explain what I just said just now. Now, we are looking at the labor resources in this regard. What we are looking at is a planning for a party, and we are trying to look at the minimum day to execute that meeting. And in the group, we are 3. We're supposed to be 5 really, but I don't see the remaining 2. Just the 3 of us, that is the beginning of our limited resource. So we have to make do with the 3 of us. So we are looking at what will happen if we vary the number of people that executes all this project. Now, on the first, what we are looking at now, the first diagram explains that if the 3 of us are actively involved in the planning and the execution of this party, we are going to achieve it in 3 days. If we have all the resources that we need in place, we are going to achieve them in 3 days. Now, the second one, it says that assuming that one of the 3 of us, decides not to be a part or have a reason not to be there, one of the materials that we needed, we have to shift till day 3, and it will now prolong the days for which we are to achieve the same project. And if you look at the third one, assuming that 2 people out of the 3 are not there, we just have only 1 person, he will plan the party day 1, the day 2 will go for the refreshment, day 3 will look for the entertainment, day 4 will look for the venue, and then the party will be executed on day 5. Now, from what I've just displayed, it is clear that with all the resources carefully planned for and well managed, the minimum day that it requires to have the party, it will be 3 days. And now these are the lessons we learned from that. Number one, that it is good to know that resources are not always there, but they are limited in supply and availability. Just as just explained to us, there was supposed to be 5 of us in the group. There are 3 of us. So the fact that resources has been limited is also reflected in what we just did. The big part is that it is advisable to schedule activities at a time when resources are readily available. If the 3 days plan had not been accepted or seen to, the other days will have been the result. What I mean by that is, had it been that the 3 people are not available in the first diagram, there is no way that party can happen within the 3 days. It will extend. And the last one is that in projects, constraints that are caused by resources cannot exceed the level of available resources. What I mean by that basically is that when we have constraints in projects, it is dependent on what resources is available. It can't exceed the level of availability. There's no way it can. So that makes us to now make sure that when we are going into project execution, our project resource management will go a long way to determine how effective our project is going to perform at the end of the day. Because between the project planning and the project execution, what actually makes that to become reality are the resources that are in between, the materials, the equipment, the labor that are going to blend everything together to deliver on the project. So I'd like to say today, from what I started with, that the type of resources we need for each work should be planned, should be carefully sorted out so that there won't be any delay, so that there won't be any issue. And then number 2 is that the quantity. And the last one is that, we have been able to actively utilize those materials because we have been able to provide for them or provide them within the time that we have. That this is just our little presentation. Thank you.
All right. Thank you so much, Engineer Dave. That was simple and straight to the point. Okay, so do I have any question for Engineer Dave? Do I have any question for Engineer Dave? Please, if you have any question for Group 4, please, you can actually raise your hand and then we'll take the question. Engineer Dave, through his presentation, was able to establish that resources are limited, and the limitedness of resources can actually affect project executions and project completions with the case study he presented. All right, so please, if there is anyone who has a question, please, you can go ahead and ask. And if you're from Group 4, you still want to make additional contributions, please, you can go ahead and also make your contributions. But if there is no contribution, we will just go straight to summarizing the class, because Group 3 and Group 4, they've presented us with what we already have to do in Group, or what we already have to do in project quality management, right? Okay, so quickly, without much ado, let's look at what we have and then see how we can maximize the opportunities of today. So we are going to look at project quality management. And please, like I will always say, all of these things we are saying, please, they are not just theories, okay? This whole thing we are doing is not really about getting a certificate, passing the exam and getting a certificate, then getting a promotion. That's not really what all of this is all about. All of this is all about being able to deliver results through the standards that we'll be teaching here. So the essence of all the, or one of the essence of all the assignment is for us to see how these things can actually be applied. And then it will also help us to understand how we can go ahead applying them in our own individual businesses. So quickly, let's look at project management, project quality management. Please, it's also important to know that the project management standards we are using here is in line with the ISO 9000 series. All right. So it's not in conflict, it's rather in line with the ISO 9000 series. So quickly, project quality management includes the processes for incorporating the organization's quality policy regarding planning, managing and controlling projects and product quality requirements in order to meet stakeholders' objectives. Then project management, project quality management also supports continuous process improvement activities as undertaken on behalf of the performing organization. So there are basically three things here. One is the quality of the project. Second is the quality of the product. Then third is the continuous improvement process, okay, of both the project processes and the product processes, right? So we need to have that at the back of our mind. Now, what are the processes involved in project quality management? We'll have the plan quality management, we'll have the managed quality, we'll have the control quality. Now, under the plan quality management, the process of identifying quality requirements and or standards for the project and its deliverables, and documenting how the project will demonstrate compliance with quality requirements and or standards. So the plan quality management has to do with demonstrating compliance with quality requirements and standards. Then we'll have the managed quality, the process of translating the quality management plan into executable quality activities that incorporate the organization quality policies into the project. Then we'll have the control quality, which is the process of monitoring and recording the results of executing the quality management activities to assess performance and ensure the project outputs are complete, correct, and meet customer expectations. Please, there is something I would like us to note here. You remember when we started this class, from the initiation stage, we talked about a business case, all right? Then from business case, we spoke about feasibility study. Then we spoke about terms of reference, all right? Now, if you look at the first 3 or 4 steps in initiation, which is identifying the problem, then defining the business case, and then going ahead to conduct a feasibility study, then having terms of reference. You find that the whole essence of what we are doing is trying to find quality standard that at the end of the day, we should look into the product and say, okay, this is actually what we defined, right? So for the problem identified, for the opportunity seen, there must have been some quality requirements or some quality standards that will believe that this particular quality should be able to meet up to this problem or solve this problem or deal with this issue, right? So if you look at it critically, the whole opportunity we're actually identifying is towards the customer. We call it an opportunity because we believe there are customers or there are stakeholders interested or that have that particular problem, all right? So we want to provide a product or want to create a product through a project that will solve that problem. So the higher the volume of people within that, within the need, within the environmental need, or within the environment where the need exists, the better the opportunity, right? So everything we are doing around the quality management plan, therefore, is to ensure that the need, that we saw before we initiated the project, that the standards, the quality standards to meet that particular kind of need are well established, all right? So it's important for us to know that the essence of all of these things we are doing is to make sure that the requirements that were initially stated, if you look at scope management, one of the processes there is said collect requirements. So all of the requirements we are collecting from stakeholders and all of the scope we are defining is to meet up to a particular quality standard that the customer will appreciate at the end of the day and be able and willing to pay money for that, okay? There is actually something I saw this evening, and I would like to share it before this class is over, all right? I would like to share it before this class is over. Although it's something that is funny, but you find that people don't really pay for anything because because you that is selling it believe that they should pay for it. What people pay for is value. And I need us to understand that. So what we do in quality management is to build certain levels of value to a particular product that people can appreciate because they believe it will solve their problem. Okay, like we say in business management, that what people buy in product are the benefits of the product. Okay, every other thing we do around the product is to attract the customers towards the product. But when customers are really buying, they are buying the value associated with the product, right? They are buying the value associated with the product. So it's important that during quality development, we should build value around the product, and the value should be all encompassing, from the product to the packaging to the delivery, all right, and to the customer service. All of that should be included in the quality development plan, right? Then we have the key concept for project quality management. Project quality management addresses the management of the project and the deliverables of the project. It applies to all projects regardless of the nature of their deliverables. So irrespective of your industry, irrespective of what you do, project management is all applicable, and project quality management is all applicable. Quality measures and techniques are specific to the type of deliverables being produced by the project. So if you are in the medical industry, you find out that your own quality measures and techniques are specific to what you do. Your terminologies and all of the things you do there will be specific to you. The people in engineering, say automobile, their own terminologies and quality metrics and measures will be specific to them. But nonetheless, irrespective of the differences in industry, the quality standards, the quality policies still remain the same. Okay, the quality policies has to do with customer satisfaction, meeting market needs, exceeding customers' expectations, and all of that. So whichever technique you're going to use in your own industry, all of them are still boiled down towards achieving customer needs, okay, and meeting up with customer expectations. All right, quickly, let's go through what certain definitions in quality management so that we can understand more about what quality, project quality management is all about. Quality is seen as a delivered performance or result. Is the degree to which a set of inherent characteristics fulfill requirements. The degree to which a set of the inherent characteristics in a product meet up to the expectations of the customer. So in your product, you've said it will do this, it will do that, it will do this, it will do that. That's inherent to the product. But what the customer is looking at is all these things you're saying that this product can do. Can I actually see the benefit? Can I have the benefit? Now, if the customer buys the product and those benefits associated with the product are available during the use of the product, the customer can then say that that product is a quality product. But where there are quality deviations, or where the characteristics is expected in the product, or the characteristics being defined in the product does not meet up to the expectations of the customer will tell you that that product is not of value. Okay, that is very, very important. So when you are building quality, it is all about fulfilling requirements. That I will still refer us back to what we did in scope. The first process, they say collect, or perhaps second process, collect project requirements, collect requirements. So all of those requirements we are collecting, what we do in quality is to build value that will meet up to those requirements. All right, then we'll have grade. As a design intent is a category assigned to deliverables having the same functional use but different technical characteristics. Okay, having the same functional use but technical characteristics. If you take Techno versus what they call it now, versus Apple, for instance, they all have the same functional use, as you can make call, send text message, perhaps do WhatsApp and all of that. But when you now start looking at quality of the apps inside it, you find that there's a difference, right? So when you look at the video, there is a difference in the quality of deliverable from the two products. Though they have the same functions, both of them can capture, both of them can video, both of them can edit, both of them can do virtually the same thing, but the quality of these things now differ. So that's why we're now talk about grade. All right, that's why we're now talk about grade. Then we have prevention. Prevention is designing quality into deliverables, keeping errors out of the process. That's prevention. Okay, and then we have inspection. When Engineer Reyes was talking, he talked about the integration of HSC into quality management. And the truth is, when we talk about HSC3, all we deal with there is quality management and risk management, integrating the two together. And essentially what we are looking at is how to bring negative risk occurrences to zero. So by default, what we want to do is to eliminate risks, negative risks, and bring them down to zero. That's all we want to do. So in prevention, all we want to do is keeping errors out of the process. And one of the advantages of the continuous improvement process is that it keeps errors. Okay, the more we try to improve on all of the processes, the more we take errors out of the whole process, right? Then we have inspection to find quality issues. Keeping errors out of the hands of the customer, that's inspection. That's where we'll now talk about quality assurance. Keeping errors, ensuring that you deal with the errors before it gets to the customer. All right, ensuring that you deal with the errors before you get to the customer. If we don't do proper inspection of product before it exits our production environment, the feedback we might get could cause reputational accident to our products and to our company. So it's important we pay very good attention to inspection of products before we deliver them to customers. Then we have the attributes sampling. The result either conforms or does not conform. So when we have a product at the end of the day after testing, we should be able to say whether the product conforms. That's the project deliverable, whether it conforms or does not conform to the quality standards that we are forced to reach. Then we'll have the variable sampling. The result is rated on a continuous scale that measures the degree of conformity. Then we'll have tolerance, specified range of acceptable results. Every quality control room has these control charts, quality control charts, where we'll talk about the default control, where we have the normal control or the tolerable control. Then we'll have the upper control limit, then we'll have the lower control limit, then we'll have the critical upper control limit, and we'll have the critical lower control limit. So when there is variation above the upper control limit and is moving to the critical upper control limit, we'll tell you that that range is unacceptable. And the same thing applies when we are moving from the lower control point to critical lower control point. Then we'll tell you that that's unacceptable. And some of these whole processes, quality processes, they are all automated. They can actually read what is happening to your production by watching through those quality charts or control charts, then seeing when it is within the acceptable regions or they are going above the control regions. Now, apart from using automated systems or software, now there are also simple approaches we use, simple quality policies we use to define the tolerable limits. So let me give you an example of the things we used to do in USC then. So USC produces Gala, right? Okay, one of their major products is Gala. And have you ever come across a Gala that is almost beyond carton color? Sometimes you see that. So inspection, most of them could be half done, or maybe there could be omissions in the inspection section. But there are specific, or there are things we call specification in the production room. And specification tells you how many seconds a particular baking period is supposed to last, and how many seconds you are to allow for cooling, and how many seconds you are to allow for conveying, and how many seconds you are to allow for packaging. And all of those things, they are quality matrices that can define standards to be tolerated or to be rejected. And whenever we talk about tolerance, at the end of the day, we are still going back to safety, right? Okay, so on the tolerance, we have the acceptable, we have the non-acceptable and we have the rejected. We have the we have the tolerable, we have the non-tolerable, and we have the rejected. So in USC, then, if you're working in the production room, sometimes you see quite a number of gala that the color have exceeded the standard. So they will tell you if it is cream gold, you accept, you move to packaging. If it is cream gold, you accept. Slightly carton color, you accept. Then milky gold, you accept. But when it start turning pure carton color, you reject. There is no way that kind of product can leave the production plant. And also, when it is black, that way you don't need anybody to tell you that you need to reject. Okay. Then even in the texture, all right, there is a level of texture that you accept, and there is a level of texture that you reject. If the hardness of the gala is obvious, there is no way you can move it out. Even if it's cream color, but it is super hard, you can't take it off. That means there must be something wrong. Is it that there is something wrong with the baking, or there is something wrong with the missing? So those things need to be evaluated. So in the tolerance, it mustn't be the benchmarks that we use running them in the system. We can use the ones we develop. All right, we can use the ones we develop, and we can have the manual processes, and we can have the automated processes, right? Okay. They will also talk about the control limit. I think I just mentioned that. And then you have cost of quality. In the morning, I mentioned cost of quality. Then you have failure cost. Cost of quality include all costs incurred over the life of the product by investment in preventing non-conformance to requirements, then appraising the product or service for conformance to requirements and failing to meet requirements. So all of the things you want to do to avoid rework, okay, they are the cost of quality. Then you have failure costs. They are often categorized into internal, found by the project team, and external, found by the customer. Failure costs are also called the cost of poor quality. So if you don't have cost, if you don't put cost of quality in place, you will always have cost of poor quality to deal with. So failure costs are products of not taking care of cost of quality from the beginning of the project, all right? And like I will always say, don't allow your customer to be the one to identify your failure, because the cost of correcting that will be higher, okay? Levels of increasing effective quality management. There are 5 levels of increasingly effective quality management as follows. Number 1, usually the most expensive approach is to let the customer find the defects. That's 1. So that's the failure cost, okay? And it's very expensive if the customer has to be the one to identify the error. It's expensive. This approach can lead to warranty issues, recalls, loss of reputation, and reworks. That's 1. If you want to choose that one, the option is yours. Then the second one is dictate and correct the defect before the deliverables are sent to the customer as part of the quality control process. The control quality process has related costs, which are mainly the appraisal cost and internal failure cost. All right, so you can also choose to be proactive, dictate and correct the defects before taking them to the customer. Then the third one is use quality assurance to examine and correct the process itself and not just special defects, right? So you can also correct the system that is producing the defects. So instead of being being correctional on the products, on the project deliverables, you get correctional on the process that is providing or process that is producing the product that is defective or that has a deviation, right? Then you can also have to incorporate quality into the planning and designing of the project and the product. And finally, you can create a culture throughout the organization that is aware to quality in processes and products. Okay, so whichever one that we wish to go for, it is all for us. But I think we can start from the list. First of all, let's build an organization where quality culture is a standard. Everybody is conscious of quality. That's 1. Then secondly, we should always integrate quality planning in and designing together. So they should be parallel. We shouldn't design product differently. Then we now come and talk about quality separately. All right, that will not be so professional. Then you can also use the quality assurance. So you can actually start from the list and get to the top. Don't start from the top to the list. That will be hazardous. Okay. Quickly, let's look at the trends and emerging practices in project management. We have the customer satisfaction, we have the continuous improvement, we have the management responsibility, then we have the mutually beneficial partnership with suppliers. So the first one is everything we are doing with quality is all boiled down towards customer satisfaction. However you want to do it, but everything we are doing is towards customer satisfaction. Then you have the continuous improvement or the continual improvement. Everything we are doing is to ensure that will increase on the value of the product we are offering. Okay, also improve in the processes that are delivering those products. Then we have the management responsibility, and part of the management responsibility is to ensure that they build a culture where quality standards, everyone is up for quality standards. All right, everyone is up for quality standards. All right, that is very, very important. All right, then we'll have the mutually beneficial partnership with suppliers. When you are getting to have your suppliers, they should also have at the back of their mind that they should be conscious of what quality is in the supply of whatever thing they are making to you in form of raw material or whatsoever. Then we'll have tailoring considerations. I explained what tailoring is in the morning, that every product or every project has its own specificity or specifications, right? So irrespective of your industry or what have you, the project that we've run even internally, everyone have their own specifications, right? So what are the tailoring considerations that we have? We look at policy compliance and auditing. What quality policies and procedures exist in the organization? What quality tools, techniques, and templates are used in the organization? Then we have standards and regulatory compliance. Are there any specific quality standards in the industry that need to be applied? Are there any specific governmental, legal, or regulatory constraints that need to be taken into consideration? Then on the case of continuous improvement, how will quality improvement be managed in the project? Is it managed at the organizational level or at the level of each project? Then we'll have the stakeholder engagement. Is there a collaborative environment for stakeholders and suppliers? All of these things need to be taken care of in the project environment. Then we have considerations for agile and adaptive environment. Like I will always say, we are now in an environment, or we are now in a business world that demand high level agility. Everyone, every team should learn to be agile. Every process should be agile, okay? Because we have agile customers now, all right? So we need to be agile in everything we do, all right? In order to navigate changes, agile methods call for frequent quality and review steps built in throughout the project rather than toward the end of the project, right? Recurring retrospectives regularly check on the effectiveness of the quality processes. They look for the root cause of issues, then suggest trials of new approaches to improve quality. Subsequent retrospective evaluate any trial processes to determine if they are working and should be continued, or new adjusting, or should be dropped from use. In order to facilitate frequent incremental delivery, agile methods focus on small batches of work, incorporating as many elements of the project deliverables as possible. Small batch systems aim to uncover inconsistencies and quality issues earlier in the project lifecycle when the overall cost of the change are lower. So if you look at this, it's all about ensuring that we have the necessary quality standards, and then making continuous improvement as need be. And since the agile environment is open and best suited to projects that are, one, they are high risk, two, they are projects that require continuous changes. So it's important we then have to pay attention to the agile environment while running those kind of projects. Then we have the project quality processes. Number one, we have the project plan quality management, which is the process of identifying quality requirements and or standards for the project and its deliverables, and documenting how the project will demonstrate compliance with quality requirements and or standards. The key benefits of this process is that it provides guidance and direction on how quality will be managed and verified through the project. This process is performed once or at predefined points in the project. I'm going to go very fast because we still have 2 more presentations to take before we go to sleep. But we'll try as much as we can to finish this class before 9 o'clock. We'll try as much as we can to finish the class before 9 o'clock. Now, please, if you have your manual, just do us a favor and go through your manuals, all right? Go through everything that is written in the manual, especially the 90-page document, all right? The 90-page document. Please go through it. Everything has been summarized there. If you have questions, the chat rooms are open, both your group chat rooms and the general chat room. Go ahead and ask your question, all right? And then we all put our attention to it to make sure that the questions are answered. Apart from myself that is in the chat room, there are other members of the faculty that are in the chat room that when you ask questions, they can respond to your questions, all right? So don't just ask questions about which group you belong to and which group. Just know that that platform on WhatsApp is for us all to also learn, all right? So if you read and you don't understand, please come to the chat room and ask questions. And if your group, if your individual groups, you have your interactions, you can also go ahead and ask your questions in your group so that you can go through it and then find more relevance. Most of the things we might be explaining here, in case you don't understand, please use the necessary channels to ask your questions. Please don't send us questions on email, okay? You might not really get response via the emails, as we receive hundreds of mails daily. So we treat mails that has to do with customer requests and issues, not necessarily about questions. So we've provided the question answering platform via the WhatsApp rooms, right? Okay, so don't send us questions via the emails. We might not really respond to such. But any other issue bugging you as regards to customer service or client service, please, we'll take care of that via the email. All right, the input for quality management process, we'll have the project charter. Then secondly, we'll have the project management plan, in which case we need the project requirement management plan, we need the risk management plan, we need the stakeholder engagement plan, and we need the scope baseline. Then when we have 3 project documents, we have the assumptions log, requirement documentation, requirements traceability matrix, risk register, and stakeholder register. Then 4, we have the enterprise environmental factors, and 5, we have the organizational process asset. Then on the tools and techniques, we have the expert judgment. Then we have the data gathering, where we can use benchmarking, brainstorming, or interviews. Benchmarking is setting a particular standard for quality. So if you're going to say your tolerable limit is say 50%, okay, if that's your tolerable limit, then that's a benchmark, all right? Or you say your tolerable limit is that every day a particular standard of work or a particular quantity of work need to be satisfied, then that could be your benchmark. Then brainstorming and interview, I think they are obviously open to quick understanding. Then we have the data analysis, where we can use the cost benefit analysis, and we can also use the cost of quality for data analysis to verify whether we can take up a particular quality standard or not, and also take up particular quality policies or not. The cost benefit analysis has to do with the cost versus benefit, just as the two appear, cost versus benefit. So whatever thing you're imputing, the investment you're making is equal to return of investment you're having. Okay, so customers also use cost benefit analysis to customers use cost benefit analysis to also make their purchases. All right. Then we have cost of quality, which I've already explained. Then we have the decision making, which can be multi-criteria analysis, not just using one parameter to analyze, but having a multi-criteria tool for analysis. Then we have the data representation, which can be flowcharts, logical data model, matrix diagrams, and mind mapping, whichever one that is best suited for your organization, you can use that. Then we have the test and inspection planning, and then we have meetings. Then on the output, we have the quality management plan, quality matrix. Then we have the quality management, project management plan updates, where we'll look at the risk management plan and the scope baseline. Then we have the project documents update, where we'll look at the lessons learned register, requirements traceability matrix, risk register, and stakeholder register. Then we'll have the manage quality. Manage quality. Please just give me 1 minute. I'll be back. Thank you. All right, sorry for that short break. Managing quality. Manage quality is the process of translating the quality management plan into executable quality activities that incorporate the organization's quality policies into the project. The key benefits of this process are that it increases the probability of meeting the quality objectives, as well as identifying ineffective processes and causes of poor quality. Managed quality uses the data and results from the control quality processes to reflect the overall quality status of the project to the stakeholders. This process is performed throughout the project phase. On the input, we have the project management plan, where we need the quality management plan inside the project management plan. Then on the project document, we have the lessons learned register, quality control, measurements, quality matrices, risk report. Then we have the organizational process asset. Then on the tools and techniques, we have virtually the same thing we had in the other side, where we'll talk about the data gathering. We can use a checklist for that. Then we have the data analysis, where we can use alternative analysis, document analysis, process analysis, or the root cause analysis. All right. Please, I will still refer us back to our manuals. Please, let's go through all of this, and then if we have questions, we can go ahead and ask. For CAPM, we sent the fifth edition of project management. Then for the LPMP, we have the sixth edition for that. So the sixth edition contains the agile project management, and the fifth edition does not. So if you are in level 2, you have all of these explanations in Project Management Book of Knowledge, the 5th edition, right? Okay, then we'll have the decision making, where we'll talk about the multi-criteria also. Then the data representation will have virtually the same thing. Then we can also use the affinity diagrams, cause and effect diagrams, flowchart, histograms, matrix diagrams, scatter diagrams, and we can also have, as part of the tools and techniques, audit. Then we'll have design for X. X in this case is a prototype. Okay, X here is a prototype. So you can have prototype to use that to know how to manage quality. Then we'll have the problem solving, and we'll have the quality improvement methods. Then on the output, we'll have the quality reports, test and evaluation documents, change requests, project management plan update, where we update the quality management plan, the scope baseline, the schedule baseline, and the cost baseline. Then we'll also have the project documents update, where we'll have the issue log, and then we'll have the lessons learned register, and we'll have the risk register. And managed quality is sometimes called quality assurance, although managed quality has a broader definition than quality assurance, as it is used in non-project work. In project management, the focus of quality assurance is on the processes used in the project. Quality assurance is about using project processes effectively. It ensures following and meeting standards to assure stakeholders that the final product will meet their needs, expectations, and requirements. Managed quality includes all the quality assurance activities, and is also concerned with the product design aspects and process improvement. Managed quality work will fall under the conformance work category in the cost of quality framework. Okay, so please, let's go through all of this in our manuals. Finally, let's look at control quality management, or control quality as part of project quality management. Control quality is the process of monitoring and recording results of executing the quality management activities in order to assess performance and ensure the project outputs are complete, correct, and meet customer expectations. The key benefit of this process is verifying that project deliverables and work meet the requirements specified by the stakeholders for final acceptance. The control quality process determines if the project outputs do what they were intended to do. Those outputs need to comply with all applicable standards, requirements, regulations, and specifications. This process is performed throughout the project. Now, on the input, we have the project management plan, under which we have the quality management plan. Then on the secondly, we have the project document, where we look at the lessons learned register, quality metrics, test, and evaluation document. And then we have the third one, approved change request, deliverables, work, performance, data, enterprise, environmental factors, organizational process, assets. Then we also have the tools and techniques, the information for or gathering of information approach, the data gathering, where we have the checklist, check sheets, statistical sampling, questionnaires and surveys. Then on the data analysis, we have the performance reviews and the root cause analysis. Then still on the tools and technique, we have inspection, testing and product evaluations, data representation, and under the data representation, we can use any of these mentioned, the cause and effect diagrams, control charts, histograms, scatter diagrams, and we can also use meetings. Then on the output, we have quality control measurements, verified deliverables. Then we have the work performance information, change request. Then we have the project management updates, under which we have the quality management to update. Then we have the project documents update, where we have issue log, lessons learned register update, risk register update, test and evaluation document updates. Important notes as we round up. The control quality process is performed to measure the completeness, compliance, and fitness for use of a product or service prior to user acceptance and final delivery. This is done by measuring all steps, attributes, and variables used to verify conformance or compliance to the specifications stated during the planning stage. Quality control should be performed throughout the project to formally demonstrate with reliable data that the sponsors and all customers' acceptance criteria have been met. Still on the important notes, the level of effort to control quality and the degree of implementation may differ between industries and project management styles. In pharmaceutical, health, transportation, and nuclear industries, for example, there may be stricter quality control procedures compared to other industries, and the effort needed to meet the standards may be extensive. For example, in agile projects, the control quality activities may be performed by all team members throughout the project lifecycle. In waterfall model-based projects, the quality control activities are performed at specific times towards the end of the project or phase by specified team members. And I think this is where we will call it a day for tonight. And I must say a very big thank you for coming out to join in this training tonight. All right, sorry, I perceived my network went off, but I am back. Okay, so my network went off, but I'm back. So If you can hear me clearly, please, you can help me with the feedback in the chat room. Please, if you can hear me clearly, please type yes in the chat room. If you can hear me clearly, please type yes in the chat room. If you can hear me clearly. All right, please, I want to be sure that we can hear me clearly. Please, if you can hear me clearly, okay, someone said it's still breaking. All right, still breaking. Okay, off and on. All right. So which one is the one we take now? Is it that you can hear me, or is off and on, or is still breaking? Which one is the best answer now? If you can hear me clearly, please, I need a yes. If there's still an issue. You see? Sorry, my network tends to be having some issues, but I want to be sure that it's okay now. So please, if you can hear me loud and clear, please, you can give me a feedback. If you can hear me loud and clear, Engineer Erifeta and others, please, if you can hear me loud and clear. All right, thank you so much. Thank you so much. All right, thank you so much. All right. Okay, so without taking any more of our time, please, if there is any question, can we go ahead and ask the questions? I would like us to finish this class by 8:45 so that we can go and rest. So for those of us that might not be able to present today, we may have to take your presentation in the next class. But for group 5, do we have group 5 ready? Please, if group 5 is ready, can we see your hand up so that we can take the remaining few minutes to round up with your presentation. Group 5, are you ready? Group 5, if you're ready, can we see your hand up? All right, Engineer Ifeta, thank you so much. So kindly make your presentation. Please go ahead. You are now a co-host. You can unmute yourself and go ahead. Engineer Ifeta, can you hear me? Engineer Ifeta, is your line breaking too? Engineer Ifeta, are you there? Your network is breaking, sir. Oh, so sorry. Okay, so group 6, is anyone in group 6 here ready? Group 6, are you ready? If group 6 is ready, let's take group 6. I think Engineer Ifeta could be having some challenges with his network over there. Group 6, are you ready? If group 6 is ready, please, can we have group 6?
I can hear you, I can hear you, sir.
Your network is breaking. We can barely hear you.
You have my screen now.
No. Your screen is not yet with us. Please, you can go ahead and share your screen.
Can you hear me?
Yes, I can hear you now. Please, you can go ahead and share
Hello?
your screen. Yes, I can hear you now. You can go ahead and share your screen. Hello. It's like we may have to take this presentation another time. The network tends to be disturbing from Engineer Ifeta's side. Okay, so quickly, we are going to put up the
Can you hear me?
attendance. Your network is breaking. Okay.
Can you hear me now?
Okay, so we are putting up the attendance. So please, let's endeavor to take our attendance. Engineer Ifeta, your screen is trying to come up. I think there could be network challenges from your end. The screen is finding it difficult to be shared. So I perceive it could be some network challenges from that end. Okay, so the attendance from Okay, so Engineering Feta, don't worry. We will take your presentation in the next class because the time is almost up. We just have 5 minutes, but your screen is not sharing and your network is breaking. Okay, so your screen has come up. Does that mean you are ready? But we can't still hear from you. Engineering Feta, your screen is up, but we can't still hear you. Oh, it's actually serious. Okay, so we'll take your presentation in the next class. Sorry for the network issues, but for this people, for the sake of people who are just exhausted and need to rest, or may just need to call it a day from here. Okay, please, if you paid for a manual and you've not received, some people's payment came in without any name. So please, if you made a payment and you've not received your manual, there's a possibility that we don't know that you're the one that sent it. So please, we may need you to send us a message to be able to find out that you're the one that made the payment and then get your manuals. Please, on Saturday, we are starting, or we're having a test. So please, let's put that in the back of our mind. And please, we are rounding up CAPM on Saturday. All right, so everything that has to do with Certified Associate Project Management. By Saturday, we should be able to deal with all the 10 knowledge areas and then take our test and then prepare for exams. Then the LPMP will continue afterwards just for 2 weeks and then we'll be done. Please, let's take our attendance. And if there is any question, any issue of concern, please, you can let me know. But else, I think we are good to go and we can have all the night rest right now. If there is any question for me, I'm available to answer all the questions. But if there is no question, we can call it a night. But before you go, if you still have the strength, you can watch this little case study on quality.
Created using Powtoon.
Okay, so we can actually find what do they call them now?
Total quality management is an approach to serving customers that involves totally re-engineering processes and systems to improve products and services in the way customers expect, while considering the needs of employees and relationships with suppliers.
Okay, so we have so many case studies we could find on YouTube relating to projects and all of that. So each of the project knowledge areas has so many. Okay. Okay. I'm seeing a question here by Joshua King. He said, please, after the test on Saturday, are we taking the exam together with leadership participants or just CAPM participants? Please, CAPM participant exam is different from that of the lead project management professionals, and the dates are different. So CAPM, but the test is for everyone. The test is for both CAPM and the LPMP. Okay. All right. So I think I can take my leave from here. If there is no question for me, we'll have to meet again on Saturday. We'll do our best to keep us updated. And please, if you have any question, please don't hesitate to get to us as need be. For now, thank you very much and do enjoy a wonderful night rest. Please, if you've not signed your attendance, please endeavor to do so. If you're not in a group, please let us know so that we can assign you to a group. Now, if you have group members that are ghosts, please let us know also so that we remove them and add people who are meant to work in the groups. All right. Thank you so much and do enjoy a wonderful night rest.